Just bear with us because we're live. Just bear with us. She'll be taking her seat just a moment. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good.
You look amazing.
Thank you for being here.
And girl, we was talking about you, honey. You walked in right at the right
You can put
time.
the earphones on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we recapped the show and we broke down what happened with Michel'le and the matchmaker date. Can you?
No, I'm looking at it. Going
Okay. Yeah.
Come this way.
Yeah.
It's this way. Okay, come.
So we've already broke down the show, and we were at the part where we just spoke about the whole studio session where you played the song for the ladies, and we were saying that I was playing devil's advocate, saying that if she feels a certain way about the song being the final mix, then she has a right to be able to do that. But you're saying that because you've been in this industry for 20 years, trust my judgment and sign the paper.
Well, jumping right in, aren't we?
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't ask them to sing background. That's the first thing.
Okay.
What I asked them to do is be a part of the song. The song is a call and response song. I say, don't you hate it when you text, they answer but you call, and then they don't answer. Right. That was their part. Go right, like be in cahoots with me about the things that happen. And after they do, I know right, I know right, I know right, I know right, then they actually did sing Don't You Hate It this, and then that happens and that happens. You heard a little bit of Chrisette's part, but Little Mo did it, and so did I think Leela did her part too. But anyway, the whole point is they did what I asked them to do.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
Oh, you sound good.
Oh, I know, right? I was just
like, I know you
right. Yes, honey.
Anyway. What I was saying is that I wasn't trying to disrespect the ladies. That's first and foremost. It's like 3 episodes of explaining. I already said, I'm sorry. If you don't want to be on it, don't be on it. I think too much time has been spent, too much tape was spent on trying to explain, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. And you say no, and it's no, and then move on.
Well, I've said that what I like about the show is they're really focusing on the women as artists, the women as a group project, and then their personal lives. There's not a lot of drama. And so I really feel
Have you seen
like
all 3 episodes?
that's not compared to last year. That's not really drama. It's just I don't think it's drama. It's a little baby drama.
Just wait.
It's playing in the sandbox for sure. I will say that. And which is I think part of why it's so difficult for me to like go through it and watch it. I'm going, oh please, oh really, oh. I'm sitting there, and it's interesting that so many of us have some really great stories to tell.
Yeah.
And they're nitpicking about singing background, and if I'm being rude to them by by asking them to be on it, and if I'm going to use their names. I didn't pick their names out of a hat. This was 6 women who were on the show with me. I asked the producers, can I have all 6 women? They said, no, we're doing 6 women for the Puerto Rican project. So use 3 of them. I was like, okay, since people haven't really seen the other 2, and me and Mo are cool, I'll just use them.
We're so glad that you cleared that up because we wondered why Michel'le and Claudette was not involved.
Yeah.
But of course, we're not going to see that on TV.
Well, they could have just said, I told them why. I mean, they edited it out, but I told them literally in the session that night. They were like, how come the other girls? I was like, well, 6 of us were there. They wanted 3 of us, so I picked you guys. That was it.
So
it was very innocent. It had nothing to do with it.
It had nothing to do with because Claudette was pretty or because the other
Claudette
people
is
didn't have
pretty.
enough.
I'm with her all the time. I mean, every time we're in any scene, it's like, oh, put Claudette over there. She's always next to me, making me look short. And and she's gorgeous, and I don't mind that. I think it's great. We all look different. We all have our own style, our own look. I'm not intimidated by that at all. I think it's great. And Michel'le has more hits than all of us, I think. When I sing her songs, everybody in the whole studio starts singing everything. I mean, like, anytime she's out with us and we perform, she sings and we all sing. Everybody in the whole audience sings her song. So I
do have a question though. So when in the show, when Leela asks you, or just to hear the mix, and you tell her basically, I've been in this game for 20 years. I wouldn't put a bad product out there. If somebody said the same thing to you, and the tables were turned, would you be okay with that?
Well, I did say yes, she could hear it. I didn't say no, you can't hear it. That'd be different. If someone was like, no, don't hear it. Trust me, girl. Don't you don't even have to hear it. I didn't say that. Which is why there's a session that just happened in the last scene in the last episode where I played the song for them. I was like, oh, that's all you need to do is hear it? Okay, then that's great, of course. I'm like, but trust me. I was just reassuring her that I know you want to hear it, but trust me, I would never put it in a way that would make you look or sound funny. That was reassurance, not like, you don't need to hear nothing I'm doing. I've been here 20 minutes. It wasn't that.
Thank you for clearing it up because it made it come off that way. But I totally get this for reality TV. Because
it did have, I literally asked them to come to the studio and hear the song. And actually, let me just rewind just a smidge, wedge. Okay. What had happened was, first of all, the song was supposed to be, first song was done. That's first thing. Song was recorded, written, done, everything was finished. I wanted to ask them to be on the song with me. I didn't ask about verses and stuff because the verses are already written. I wanted them from that point on to add their thing and have more of a party flavor to the song. It was supposed to be like 6 or 7 different steps before that. I asked them, and the next day I was in the studio with them. That's not how it usually works.
Right.
And they know it was the night before, and then we were in the studio the next day. So that wasn't what I planned. Right. So I went along with TV Land and agreed to do the project because this is what we're doing. I'm a part of the TV show, so I can't be like, well, I'm not doing my thing. Ain't nobody singing on my thing. I ain't got 3-4 days to do what I want to do. No, I trusted that the girls would know, hey, I got your back. I'm not going to put you on something and then just put it out without signing something or having something that's written, which is why my manager sent something out that was just quick. Do you want to be on it or not? And we're okay with you if you want to. If you don't, fine. There's no compensation. It's just a part of the show, a part of the song. That was what it was going to be unless they wrote on the song.
Okay, let's speak about that just really quickly because the letter, Chrisette's manager made the letter seem as if...
Chrisette's
lawyer, I'm sorry, made it seem as if the letter was unprofessional. There was no letterhead. I was really hoping that we would see a zoom in on it. Was it as bad as they made it seem? Or?
Of course not. It was a letter that was typed up while we were in the studio. We found out maybe 7 hours before we got to the studio that day that it was going to be the studio that day. So my manager sent something to protect me, not to bind them. It was just an agreement. It wasn't a contract.
Because you guys had already was in the studio.
Because we were already there. She was like, let me just, okay, listen, you guys, you're going to be on this thing and this is what it's going to be and there's no compensation. Okay, so we'll figure out the details later. My record company sent a formal, with letterhead, contract to them later that day, but it's impossible to get your lawyer to just do something like that fast. He's not sitting around waiting for me to call him.
Totally.
Okay. I'm glad you explained that because I sure was like,
come on now, Cheryl. I was watching
come
and
on
I was
now.
upset. Everybody was like, ooh, I guess you're Kelly Price. I was like, I guess I am.
Yeah, because the people are going in on you in regards to you're coming off as the mean girl or you're the new Kelly Price. And I'm glad that you're explaining the details because, we're from LA, so we know that there's hours and hours and hours and hours of taping footage.
Yeah,
I was with you guys at Savoy, and you ladies were there for hours and hours, but all night. Yes, because
and
I remember.
And they never sing one song on the show.
She sang one
like
song.
6 songs that night.
Yes, and then boom, it was it. But I know you guys were there for a long time. We partied a little bit after.
We danced around and had fun on camera and everything. We did the Running Man. They didn't even show that.
Yeah, but
that was a good dance.
They didn't show any of that.
Right.
Now I want to go into the later part of the studio when Mo said she didn't want to. She had some stuff that she wanted to get off her chest before she gave the approval of the song. We agree that approve or disapprove the song and get that over with. Don't hold, don't try and hold everything in because you have something, because you have some, like do you
audience, or do you want to be on the song or not?
Yeah. Answer yes or no. And then she goes into this whole thing about how she's been feeling the shade.
Yeah.
I must say this. We were at the BT Gospel Celebration when you slayed that song with Vashawn Mitchell.
Oh,
you did that.
We were there, and there's a blogger that I know. We were talking about R&B Divas, and even before it aired, he told me that he predicted that you and Little Mo had fell out. And I said, well, why do you say that? And he says, because they don't correspond with each other on social media anymore. And so it's like, okay, that's a very good observation. And then boom, we see episodes and now we see what it appears that the two of you have actually fell out. So I've said the same thing to her as well. So now let's go into there's the shade, all the shade you guys are feeling shade toward each other.
Church term. Oh
yeah.
out against my sister.
Yes. And she feels shade. You feel a certain way. Let's talk about Mo. Mo feels as if you've been shady to her. Do you feel she had a reason to feel that you were throwing shade, or was it just a misunderstanding?
Well, what she said was that she was upset because I didn't tweet that she had a couple singles out.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is call me. I'm never keeping anybody from making it. Why would I do that? Right. If she makes it, that shines a light on all of the R&B divas. So that was ridiculous to me because I would never do that. All you gotta do is let me know, which is why I said it immediately. I'm like, seriously, that's what it was?
Yeah.
I'm like, easily. I didn't know that you had the singles out, and if you wanted me to tweet it, just give me a little text at home.
Be like, girl, tweet.
I got this thing and it's coming out, and then what? Just like when it's on the show, she talks about what she's doing, and I don't know if they're going to show it or not. But when she has a concert, I'm standing up the whole time screaming and hollering for her because I don't have anything against Mo. I was stepping back because a whole lot of stuff was going on in my life during that time period. My brother just passed. It was the anniversary of my mother's death, which was on my brother's birthday. So all that was going on. I have 2 broken discs in my neck, and then she's like, "Oh, that just sounds planned." I'm like, "Well, this is my life. This is a reality show. My reality is rolling while all this stuff is happening. I have a daughter who's just turning 18. She's away at school. So I'm missing her. I'm, my kids, I'm dealing with Kenny and whatever the lawsuit is with that. And all of that was going on at the same time. And all of us know that stuff is going on. And it's not an excuse to be mean. But it is a reason to just step back. It was a whole lot of stuff going on. And the first time we had a scene, all 6 of us, actually was the 3 of us. My scene, when it was a scene that was about something that had to do with me, it was, oh no, we don't sing background, we don't do that. So I was like, okay, great. The one time I'm in with you guys doing something that has to do with me, not supporting all of you and everything we're doing, or all 6 of us in all that we're doing. The one time this is about me, because you haven't seen me very much on this show.
We have not.
But the one thing that was about me, oh no, you don't do background. But I'm singing background on the song that's for Puerto Rico. I'm the only one who sang background on that song. I didn't care. I didn't go, oh, put them in the back too, because if I'm back, they back. No.
Right.
I sang background because I love to sing. I didn't care. They were all sitting there having a scene while I'm in the booth for 2 hours laying background on top of a song, on top of, voice on top of voice.
I give that to you. I will give that to you. Yes.
I'm just saying.
You felt a certain way because Mo, she posted a picture on Instagram saying she was photographed with Kenny, like with your...
That's what she did. She went,
okay.
And she said, Kenny Lattimore, the good guy. Now, if I took a picture with Phil, and I said that to her on camera, but they edited it out. But if I took a picture with her ex-husband talking about Phil, good guy, ladies and gents, right now, they broke up. Right now, they're in the middle of a divorce. If I'm with Phil, I'm on the show with Miss Ann on R&B Divas, and I get in a picture with Phil, her ex, soon to be ex, and I'm going, Phil, the good guy, ladies and gents. Right. If I text that underneath a picture, what does that say? She must know him, and she must know that little Mo is not the good one in this whole situation. She's the bad one.
Right.
So I thought that was offensive because she knew what was going on between me and Kenny and how it wasn't that great.
Right.
There's, haggling over stupidity. And so you're going to throw some salt before I even see you again.
That's exactly what I said, because I was like, it has to be something deeper where you've shared something with her, or she knew something where, like that would be hurtful.
It was just a little low to me. It was a little low.
And I play devil's advocate because all of you ladies are from that 90s eras where you guys were all, just blasting out hits back, left and right. And I use from the perspective of I'm sure at some point all of you ladies have worked with each other. I know Chrisetta's has performed, and she's been on venues with Kenny. Kelly is. So I looked at it in a sense of maybe they do know each other, and it's just a picture. Somebody take a picture, and hey, yo, he's a good guy. Doesn't mean that he's not. I don't know. Maybe
you don't even believe that. You don't even believe, because I'm saying
because I'm a guy, so I just.
You're not thinking that hard because you're a guy, but if you're a girl,
right,
you're looking at it. You're looking at it. You're looking at it sideways.
And then I'll play the other side. Yeah. If you did do that, little Mo probably would throw shade.
She'd be pissed off and call. Yeah. Well, the point was, if we weren't filming the show, I would have had a conversation with her about it and been like, seriously, why would you do that? That's really shady.
But when that happened, why didn't you reach out to her and ask her why she did that?
Because so much stuff is going on while we're filming. We are busy. Like, we have different schedules all during the day. I'm not going to call her in the middle of filming this and going here and going there. We're going to have the conversation. We're going to have it because things are building up and you can feel it. But that's real life stuff that's happening. And I hadn't seen her. She was working and doing whatever she was doing, recording. And we have different schedules for filming because we're not even in a lot of scenes together. And I think that was kind of purposeful on the R&B Divas part. I really do.
Has your marriage with your
my
ex-husband,
divorce with my ex-husband?
so is it finalized?
Yeah, that's been final.
Okay, so it's been final.
How many years, by the way, did it take
to divorce? Almost 2.
Okay.
And so the custody battle, has that been resolved? No? Yeah, it has. Okay. In your
I won. Yeah.
Okay. Congrats.
Yeah,
You shouldn't have been happening, much less.
I do want to ask this question, and I'm asking. I'm gonna be done. I did feel a certain way when you guys were at the reunion with Wendy Williams, and when Wendy asked you a specific question about Kenny, I felt rather than yes or no, the way that you answered the question, it left the door open for Wendy to just go in.
She didn't.
Well, she tried to, because then she went to Kelly and then asked him, and I felt it was messy, but I felt that if your answer was a little more, no, Wendy, mind your business, or just something to
more
not
definitive.
What she asked me was him being gay a reason why we divorced? That's what she said.
Right.
No. That was the answer. No.
Okay.
But then that sounds like you're saying he's gay, but that's not.
She didn't ask me if Kenny was gay.
Okay.
And that's none of my business. It's none of my business. It's not for me to announce whether Kenny is gay or not, or whether I think so or not, or whether there's any gayness anywhere in anybody. My business, my life, my show, mine. I'm not talking about Kenny in that way. I'm not saying anything negative about Kenny or positive about Kenny. Right now, I'm pissed off at Kenny. And my son's name is Kenny Lattimore Jr. I'm not telling you nothing negative, and I ain't saying nothing positive right now. Right now, I'm mad at him, and I wish he'd go sit down somewhere.
Do you think you'll ever get to a place where you guys are amicable?
I really hope so. My ex-husband, Kadeem, and I are great friends. He's been a great father, and he's one of my favorite people on the planet. So it's possible, you know. I mean, we've been friends since we broke up. So, I mean, we raised our child. She's almost 18. She's almost 18 years old, and we go out and we just have fun together. We have a great time. But respect and friendship is earned. And you can burn a bridge and it may never be built again. He can be a good father to my son, and that's what's wonderful, is that my son loves him. And I don't have to like him or spend time with him like that. My son has a great time when he's with him, and he has a great time when he's with me. And as long as he's not mean to my son, we good.
Okay.
I'm gonna be praying too, honey.
Go and pray.
Got you.
Anybody who has kids and they're not together, you need help. There needs to be a bridge built somewhere in there. But you can't be suing me and expect there to be a bridge built.
Right.
Just can't.
And you were blown away when you got the news that he was doing that. Have you guys? Is there any communication at all, or is it just the?
Is it lawyers talking right now? Like, what stage are you in?
Well, we don't have conversations.
Okay.
We do text.
Can we? Okay. I want to talk about your career.
Okay.
I'm also from San Francisco.
Oh!
Yeah, I was born and raised in San Francisco. I'm also a church boy. And so you were signed to Stylus Records back in the 90s, and you've had these string of hits. When you look back over your career, are you happy of all what you've accomplished?
Yeah, I am. I want more, and I don't mean that as a pun, but I always feel like I should have maybe done that a little harder. I've been a little more aggressive with this and had makeup artists rather than doing it myself, my own hair and makeup at first, because they were like, oh, well, she can do it herself. But I should have had somebody doing my makeup and somebody styling me and really doing it. I mean, they did have some kind of artist development, but it was more about how to speak and how to do the interviews and to be comfortable with yourself and make sure you think about what they're saying and don't just talk off the top of your head, because you can get a little bit, lost if you don't. So they taught me how to do that. But the makeup and the hair, I think they should have had people doing that for me. So I do regret that. I do regret being a little more aggressive musically. Because because I seemed older when I was younger than I feel right now. And musically, I'm like, let's go, let's do this, do that, and take more chances. So other than that, I feel like everything was good.
One of my favorite songs of yours is the one that you did from the Waiting to Excel soundtrack, where it was no lyrics. It was just
right.
That was so sexy. Whose idea was that? Was that yours or was it a Babyface?
He said to kind of scat, just. So I was just off the top of my head, just.
That was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about new music in your book?
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
so let's talk about your book, Will I Marry Me? When is that coming out?
This is August, this month. You can pre-order this month. I'm doing a seminar, and I say that lightly. I'm sharing my life. It's called a seminar because I'll be speaking a lot, but I'm also going to ask questions and get information from the audience and tell them my story, because that's what it's really about, is sharing my journey, because I've made a lot of mistakes, and sometimes we don't take advantage of the fact that others have been places before we've been there and after we've been there, and we can learn from other people's mistakes. And I think my journey, learning about love and relationships and marriage and the do's and the don'ts, I think that if I share what happened, it'll help somebody out.
Oh, yeah,
and it'll help me out too, because I want to learn about, like, why do I do the things I do? Why do I choose the men I've chosen in my life? Why have I gone that direction? And I want to learn from that. So that's where this book has really come from.
That's very humble and vulnerable of you to do that.
Well, that's kind of how I am, even though they're not portraying that on R&B Divas this time. Right. But I'm also very, very careful with myself. I have a very tender heart, and any of my friends know. Once I'm on your side, I'm really like a lioness on your side. Right. I will fight, kill, and destroy on your behalf. More than I'll even fight for me. If it's you, I'll take the bullet for you. And that's what's really sad about the show. Honestly, I'm back to that. But is that we could have had a strong camaraderie. We were all very strong and intelligent women, and we could have had a show about strong and intelligent facts and stories about each other, and really learning and delving into where you've been in your life, and where do you want to go, and what are you really trying to say with your career, and all those kind of questions could have been asked one to another, but instead we're haggling over silly little things.
You know, Phil Thornton, when Michel'le from Atlanta season said, you know, not Michel'le, but Latavia was saying, you know, it's all about the editing. There are people that's going to say, Chante, be quiet. It's the editing. You can't blame the editing because you gave them what.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it was just editing. I'm saying the content in which we're given to talk about. We were put in situations like in a fishbowl. That we're not just free to just run around and do whatever we want. Yeah. It is like, okay, we're going to do this today. So y'all be you in that.
Gotcha.
So it's not just, let's just go down the street. It's not that. We really do have like parameters to live in and to be in. So within the parameters of what we were in, yes, they filmed it. And I don't care what they edit. I know who I am. And if they edit it to be that I'm some terrible person, I know I'm not. Whatever, even the answers that they had, that wasn't even an answer to that question. But that's okay. I'm not worried about what the world thinks of me, because my body of work and my reputation have been 20 years. So if you take 10 minutes out of a show and think that's who I am, rather than for 20 years who I've been, and I've met people for 20 years and the same people, different circles, same people. Yeah. And I mean, from Tom Joyner on, you know, there's so many people that I know that I wouldn't have had the career that I've had. I wouldn't have been able to do this for as long as I've done it if I were conniving and talking about people behind their back and mean to people just because they won't sing on my record. I that's not who I am. And I'm not worried that anybody's really going to think that, who knows me, who knows my music. I sing about love and relationship and respect. I don't cuss, and they beeped me. I don't even understand what that was about. I'm like, I didn't curse. My mother was like, hey, was that you? Did you cuss? I was like, I did not cuss. They beat me. I don't get it.
Wow.
Why they would even do that.
Do you have any regrets about doing the show?
I don't. It has been great exposure. It's been wonderful to see what it's like to be in this environment. So you don't know how something is until you're in those shoes, you know? And it gives me more respect for my own career, because the fact that I've been able to even keep this going and I haven't had to get a second job is amazing in the first place. Mm-hmm. And then that people want to see me and still hear my music to this day. I'm so blessed to even be a part of it. I don't know. I don't think of it as negative. Certainly there are negative things that are said about you because you're exposed to the world, and those things, they hurt because I'm a live person with feelings, and so it does hurt. But I don't take it to heart like you don't like me. You don't know me to not like me. Yeah. So. Right.
And new music. I know Right's available.
Yeah.
Right on iTunes. And can we expect any more music?
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. I don't know how fast that's going to happen, but certainly that song is available right this moment. And still, the album to me is still really relevant. I'm probably going to do some videos. Actually, in a couple of weeks, we're going to shoot a couple of them from the album, because that album is my last 5 years, and sometimes things need to just take some time. And because we have control over, how it is exposed, it's only been two singles. So we want more. We want more from More is More. So I'm not ready yet.
We definitely want more.
Yes, we do.
The last question, your big hit, Chante's got a man. Mm-hmm. Does Chante have a man?
Chante's dating a man.
All right.
Ooh. Yeah. It's kind of nice. You'll see him on the show, I think. I don't know if it's still on there, but we dated on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have to wrap up. We have to wrap up. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV for R&B Divas LA.